Hey guys, it's Matt with MC Welds here. Figured I'd take you along today for this little Saturday job that we got going on. First things first, we got to make sure the truck is in good working order this morning. Do our pre-trip, check our tires and our lights. It's a windows down kind of morning. Drinking some nice warm coffee. Our weld supplier gave us a sheet of these stickers. They're Miller stickers. Figured I'd slap one on my mug. Pretty nice morning out. It's probably about 70 degrees now. Finishing up my breakfast, which was a microwave pizza. Got all my tools up on the second level of this apartment complex. Got the best tool in the house, squirrel cage fan. This is what we're going to be working on today. We got to replace these two bottom sections of the post that actually get embedded into the concrete. Now you can tell this place is under construction. We've got some masonry and concrete contractors in here redoing some of the cracked concrete overhead and below, and the coatings and the grout work and stuff like that. You can see, I imagine it's pretty hard to lay concrete above you, but they seem to have it down. This is my third year doing this project, so we've seen quite a few companies come through in different ways they do things. I'm putting these little, I call them pups, but they're really spot savers. So when I beat this thing out, that middle section doesn't move or twist with the railing. But you can call them about anything. And it just holds my position, like you're seeing right there. It keeps the rail from twisting. There's a lot of force on this thing when you're, after all that years and with the concrete moving, they will twist. And you don't know what the fab shop had to do 30 years ago to get this rail to set straight. So you never really know what you're cutting into. Sometimes I've cut into rails they'll swing out about 1.5 inches after you cut the bottom or the top one. There's my fit up. That's probably pretty good considering what it is. This is probably one of my best fit ups so far this year on this project. They're pretty easy to weld out. I'm using 030 flux core with the Lincoln 190i. I-90. No, I think it is a 90i. Yeah, they're like $300. They eat those little 2-pound spools. They're perfect for jobs like this when you don't need a lot of power. You just need something to stick stuff together, and that's exactly what this is. Now, they do call for a ground finish on this procedure, and I'm going to actually show you later in the video. Getting ready to eat my lunch right now, taking a seat in our job trailer, and got me a salami sandwich and some frozen fruit. Went ahead and cut a new section of our tubing that we're going to need for replacing the other side. Here's what we're going to be working on this coming week. We've got to replace that bottom rail, half of that bottom rail, and the posts that go down in. You can see this post is hardly even connected. And then I'm really hoping the engineers see this and put us on some T&M, because that would be awesome, and this needs to be fixed. Man, I love some T&M. But yeah, these rails are pretty bad. These are probably the worst buildings out of this whole 3-phase project so far. This will be the last year for these buildings, so we're pretty interested to see what's going to come in next year. But yep, pretty nasty stuff. It's a good thing that they are paying attention to these buildings and taking care of them. Trying to beat this last one out here. Sometimes you just gotta grind and beat and grind and beat. That's what they look like when they come out. Pretty good cut out. I try to stay as close as I can to the original weld, so that way I'm not having to weld like a 1/2 inch gap when I go put the new piece in. I have trimmed off pieces of new stock and put it in there like a pie cut, and that works okay. It's just extra work. Right now I am actually busting out my own jackhammer and some of these SDS Max bits that I got for this Bosch. The masonry contractors didn't open this one out all the way, so I kind of had to play masonry contractor for a while, which this equipment requires completely different PPE. You got to have a full face respirator and a hard hat, at least on this job, if you're doing any jackhammering or removal of masonry material due to falling debris and dust and stuff like that. You can see it was kind of a fight. and some of the original pack rock was still in the position when I pulled the old rail, the old embedment out. So that kind of tells you that, you know, maybe that guy got pulled off somewhere else and they never got around to it. It's no big deal. I'll do what I have to do. You know, it's pretty easy to start complaining about other trades and stuff, but when you're working around each other and you have a tight deadline like this project, you just kind of got to work together. Sometimes you got to do each other's jobs, and that's okay. All right. Tell me down in the comments, hired or fired. That one's done. So is this one. Keep in mind, they're going to sandblast this whole thing, and they're going to paint it. It's going to be a 2-part primer system and a 2-part epoxy gloss black coating product as well. And there's about 48 hours or so in between the primer and the actual epoxy. It's kind of a system where you don't really, it's not a very user-friendly system. You have to know what you're doing when you're mixing them. But that's what is going to happen to these. They're going to get sandblasted, and they are going to slap on some thick stuff that's going to last. So it doesn't have to be super duper good, but you know what? When they put paint on that thing, it's going to hide all those little divots and imperfections. I could sit here all day. If this was stainless, obviously, there'd be a different finish code for that, but it is not. It is carbon steel, SCED 40, and nothing special about it. As long as my shit is straight and in line, not too out of whack, and the welds are ground, that's really all that matters on this stuff. So you can see right here, I have some small imperfections on there. Like I said, if that was stainless or aluminum handrail, completely different story. But for the nature of what this project is, it's going to be fine. Yeah. So we just need to grind off these things. There's little supports I put in there, because when you open this up and you cut this off, that could swing this way and out of whack. Those keep it in place. You can see down here, I've already done that. Smooth. You won't even know that those were put there. So I'm gonna whack those off, sand those down, and we'll be good to start taking all this crap back down to the truck or the job trailer, wherever it goes. So yeah, almost done for today. Well, there we go. I'm gonna call that good. I'm gonna call that the final product. It looks level here, but if you look up here, it looks like this one's slightly up. It might be slightly, like a 1/16 of an inch up, but that's within tolerance. We're shooting 8s up here, 8 all day. So I got these sanded down, nice and smooth. Let's get on out of here. Let's get this stuff packed up and call it a day. So yeah, it started raining on my way back to the laydown yard, so looks like it's gonna stop now, so I can at least get some stuff done back in the yard. Some small miscellaneous stuff. I want to organize some trucks, maybe clean the trash out of the front floorboard of this truck. That'd be nice. But yeah, thanks for coming along with me. I know this is a little bit shorter video for a long form content, but it's not me just rambling on about stuff. It's for the most part me just filming what I'm doing. So I figured I would try this style and see how well And stay safe out there. I'll see you guys on the next one.